Your advice was horrible.
Is that what one of them says?
I don't know.
That'd be so sad. What if they were like, it ruined my life? I don't like that. Okay, well, what's up? Oh, maybe we should do the intro first.
Yes, let's just do that.
Welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany. I'm just reading one of the questions about Devin and her pillowcases.
I know.
I washed my sheets this weekend.
That's exciting.
I don't sleep on pillowcases, though, for the millionth time.
You should just read it out.
Devin, please wash your sheets, blankets, duvet cover, and pillowcases. A lot of your acne issues will clear up. There's piles of dead skin mixed with oil and serums from the past, just chilling on the fabric, mixed with your pet's hair and other things from the air. I know this is harsh, but once you start doing it, your skin will thank you.
False. She has a molecule.
I appreciate that feedback and that you even took the time to like write in and stuff. Love you. But that would not resolve my face issues.
Would it not help?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. Did you say you don't sleep with a pillowcase at all?
You sleep with your blanket,
I do.
right?
I put a blanket over top. I washed that yesterday, so.
Okay. Well, washing the blanket, if that's what your face is on.
Yeah.
It's probably the same. But then you can run into problems with the detergent giving you issues.
Yeah, right now I have like scent-free, clean, organic. Just kidding. I don't know.
That I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, why is it still like a color and like
what?
Like because I use like the pods of the like free and gentle, scentless, blah blah blah. But I'm like, it still can't be good.
For a fact, my acne is internal. So like people saying to stop eating gluten and dairy and stuff, yeah, that's more valid than like don't touch your face. You know, like if you touch your face, you're gonna break out. Yeah. But the problem is like that's not fair. I want to eat dairy. It's really hard for me to not eat dairy. So I'm going to continue trying to find solutions aside from cutting everything out of my diet at the moment.
Understandable.
I feel that.
My dermatologist like didn't like my Doxy prescription isn't renewed or whatever because it was only until last month, and I'm like horribly breaking out on my chin. I have like zip patches on right now.
Does your insurance cover that? Because
yeah, well, it was. I think it was just like $10 or something.
Mine is so expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have like bad prescription coverage because I wanted to save money there because I was like, oh, who really cares about prescriptions?
I
feel that.
I just think that everyone should talk to an insurance broker if you're like self-employed because they'll be able to tell you all the things.
3 weeks till I got some premium insurance. I'm gonna make all the doctor's appointments ever.
That's so lucky.
Find a new therapist. I'm very excited.
Benefits of being in a marriage.
Yeah, it feels like when you marry someone in the military and you get a bunch of benefits.
Yeah,
I can deal with this.
These are my finance bro benefits.
I do like that. That's kind of funny.
I think currently my mom is supposed to get some type of benefits from my ex-stepdad just because she was married to a firefighter. I think he's trying to like take her off or something. Oh yeah, I don't know the full details, but like yeah, I'm pretty sure she's like on when he dies or something. I don't know.
Like life insurance. Oh, does Peyton not get the firefighter insurance?
Yeah, not yet. I think Logan is just on Jake's.
Oh, okay.
How is Logan on Jake's?
Oh, and Brooks is too. Because you can put your family members on it.
No.
That's good. You can put the baby. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought it like had to be with the moms.
Yeah, you can put your kids.
That makes
sense.
Did
you see what they said about Gypsy Rose? That like something about she's legally like isn't allowed to get a divorce because of the state she lives in or something, and like legally you have to put who you're married to on the birth certificate instead of like who the actual father is.
I saw that can be dismissed with a paternity test. So
okay. Cool.
Yeah. As soon as they know the baby's paternity, they can't be like, well, you're legally married to Ryan,
that's
so it's
so
his
fair.
baby, you know.
Yeah, that would not make any sense.
Yeah.
I saw Ryan on live the other day, and he was
God,
like,
he's so
are you
annoying.
Team Brad or Team Blue? Like,
who's
vote
Ryan?
for Ryan or Ken.
Oh.
Her ex-husband.
He was on it? He was like
he
on
goes
TikTok
live all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
He's so embarrassing.
But he probably just doesn't give a fuck. Like,
I also wonder how much money he's getting from lives.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah. I wonder if he's like in one of those like bonus programs too.
When I was watching the show, I was he's very controlling. And also he's
the
like
Hulu one?
It's Lifetime.
Lifetime.
But like you can see it on Hulu, right?
Probs.
Yes. Like there's an episode where Gypsy, I mean, she doesn't have a job and she's at home doing nothing and his house is like a mess. Like he's a food hoarder and she's like trying to throw things away because her mom was a hoarder. And so she's like, I can't stand this. I need to clean things up. And
wait, just
a food hoarder.
Scroll back a little bit in the timeline. Is the show like from when she are you talking about the show from when she's like a child to?
No. It's
what's this
Life
one
Outside of Prison or something. Life After Lockup or something.
I think that's
okay. But then there's another one that's like based on her, but she's like not in it.
The
Act.
Really good.
Okay.
That is
I didn't realize I'm glad you said there's two different ones.
Joey King slays in that. She's so good. It's like hard to look at Joey King and not see Gypsy
Joey
Rose.
King is my Gypsy Rose.
I need to look. Is Joey King a girl?
Yeah. Yeah, she's
in
the one that was
Family
in the
Affair.
new Zac Efron movie.
In the new Zac Efron movie. The Family Affair? A Family Affair?
Yes.
There's a lot of like things happening, you know. I gotta catch up.
There is. A lot's happening.
Yeah, pop culture is popping off.
I know. You guys, I still haven't watched Brooke's thing yet. I have to go through hers. But she probably, I feel like hers are like 5 minutes long and his were like a minute or so. So I could like get through them faster.
I think he's probably making a shit ton of money off of those too. And he's doing them all just like 1 minute long so that he can have more of them and get more views.
Brooke said like she's not even making money from it because like it doesn't count as views if the person goes to your page. Like it only counts if it's on the For You page. So people click one and then they go to watch the rest.
Yeah.
Just from
that's what happened with
Risa get. I thought she made a bunch of money.
She did because it came up on her For You page, but like a lot of people, like she didn't make as much as everyone was assuming she made.
Yeah, I didn't even ever see her on my For You page. I just kept seeing people talking about her. So then I went to her profile and watched them all.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Wow, that's.
But I guess a lot of people, if you're like, if you were watching it while she was doing it, and you were like, you know, you finished the episode or whatever, then the next time you like go to TikTok, she probably pops up like right away on your For You page.
So I wonder if you see the first one on the For You page and then you do use the playlist feature. I wonder if that doesn't count either. Probably not, because they want you to see the ads while you're scrolling.
So. But now
people have ads on their profile.
I know, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Now that must be a different program. It must be like TikTok creator versus like the reward
creativity, like over a minute thing. One.
Yeah, because the creativity one I think is based on ads now.
Okay. They're just trying to cheat us all.
Yeah, literally. I was at a bridal shower this weekend and like a random girl at my table was like, have you guys seen the Clinton Kane videos? And I was like, yes. Like I love meeting people in real life who are like chronically online.
I know. It's so weird. Because it's like, you exist outside of TikTok too?
I know.
I feel like everything Grace and I watch is like very similar. So like we'll like over the weekend we were just kind of bringing up random stuff and like her boyfriend was with us and he's like, what are you talking about? We're like, but did you see that bathing suit? And I was like, oh my god, that one. We were like talking about very specific things.
I love that because my sister rarely knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
really,
in terms of TikTok. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, do you know? Like, she has a completely different set of influencers. I feel like she lives in a parallel TikTok universe to me.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You would think it would be the same.
She doesn't know any of the people that I talk about. But it's weird because all the people that we talk about know each other.
Yeah, like everyone hangs out.
Like Logan doesn't know Victoria Paris, or
really,
she knows Emily Kaiser, but she doesn't watch her content. She knows Avery Woods, but yeah, I don't know.
Is she just like only interested in certain people?
Maybe.
Like the things that we're interested in, like she's probably just not.
Yeah, because the creators we follow are very content creatory, where they're like our inspiration and we want to create content like them or be like them. And I don't think Logan cares about that in the content she watches.
Did she watch YouTube?
I think you and her would probably know more similar people. Like she probably knows the OG like YouTuber.
Yeah, like I wonder if it's like an age thing.
Gang.
YouTuber gang. Did you see that Aspen Ovard bought a house in California?
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
There was like all those rumors though about that she was getting divorced, but then like Parker has been in her vlogs and stuff.
Oh,
but then like she posted, I bought a house in California.
Yeah, is that the last thing she's posted? Because she's like, my life is changing a lot right now or something.
Yeah, so I'm like, what does that mean? Because why has he been in her vlogs? And also that's so crazy, like when you're getting a divorce like that, like obviously she's been the primary breadwinner for the past decade of their lives, but like that's just kind of crazy to be like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy like this $4 million house in California, and then like how does that work then with splitting it? Like could it just be like, oh, he gets the Utah house and she just moves to California?
Depends on their divorce terms, I guess.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's so funny, like how the influencers buying homes in California, obviously they're super expensive, but they're like little cute houses. Mm-hmm. And then the influencers buying houses in like Arizona are like fucking mansions. Yeah. Like Emily Kaiser's new house is so big and nice and fancy.
Where does she live? Like what city?
I don't know. She used to live in Arcadia, but I don't know where she's moving to.
Oh.
I could guess maybe like Gilbert or something, but I really don't know. I don't think it's Scottsdale, but maybe. Yeah.
She does a pretty good job of hiding her area.
Her old house, though, she said that she could walk or bike ride to this specific coffee shop, and so that's how I knew that like where she lived.
I know.
Like I don't know like, what exactly, but like I'm like, oh, you're in the Arcadia proper area.
That's how there's an influencer that just like bought a house recently, and I know like pretty much where she lives because everything she does is like around my house, and I'm like, oh, like I know exactly where you're at. Like it's
that's
like
how so interesting. I feel like the people who do live near me would know where I live.
Yeah.
You don't really show like the outside of your house though.
I tried not. Yeah, I don't show the outside of my house, but I show like my grocery store or like I try not to do that as much, but
I would have no idea what like your neighborhood looks like.
Yeah, that's good.
At all. Well, I do.
I think it's better. I know. But even I feel like sometimes even with hotels, I'm like, that's just so like it can be just jarring. I don't know. Like if people are coming up to you in the hotel and they're like, what?
Oh my god, yeah. That's what I sent to you guys last night. There's that Instagram group that I'm in. That's a Facebook group. Yeah. Tatum Talks is like that dog. Yeah. He got famous during COVID where it's in like the middle high voice over
nowhere, like in Maine
videos. Yeah. Like they came to the house trying to meet the dog. Like a fan came to their house. That is so crazy. Like what if somebody, because I don't answer the door or anything, but like what if somebody just knocked and you think it's a salesperson and they're like, can we meet Willow?
That's like
I'd be like so scared. Like, what do you even say?
Remember Victoria's videos of like the person being like, "Hi,"
and they're like, "I'm not weird. I promise."
Weird.
That is so weird.
JC just told a story too on the podcast. Did you hear that one about the Postmate when like her Postmate called and was like, "Are you here? Are you here?" And she was like, "What? Like, just leave the food." But it probably was a fan.
Yeah, that is really awkward. I feel like I would change my name on my like DoorDash or whatever.
That's what people were commenting. I saw like changing.
She shares a lot of location stuff though.
Yeah,
like she's showing so much of like the outside of the houses and stuff, and I get like she's doing house content, but I'm like, girl,
I don't think she does, because I think the only time she like takes pictures or videos of houses are when they go to different neighborhoods.
But like she talks about like a lot of the
she's
like
shown the
her
outside
Pilates
of her new
places.
house.
Yeah, and she's showing the outside of her place, and like you can see her neighbors' houses, which like give you a lot more context of like where someone is.
I feel like I haven't really seen that.
I don't know. I think people share maybe until something happens, or until like even Kylie, like she just did a porch remodel, so she posted the front of her porch. So now I'm like, oh, if anybody walks through that neighborhood and sees that porch, they'll like 100% know it's her.
Yeah, that's so hard because sometimes I want to show something so bad, like my dining nook in the front of my house. I'm like, I want to show this, but like you can see my neighbor's house across the street, and it's hard to like.
Oh my god, you should take such cute pictures if you put the camera like outside of the window.
Oh.
Like Kylie took ones like that before where it's like through the window and then they look at the Christmas tree and stuff. That'd be so cute.
I
like
love
if you're sitting
those
at the table.
pictures too.
Yeah, me too.
Those are really so cute.
Interesting. Yeah.
Love that. Did you guys see that Armchair Expert signed an $80 million deal with Amazon?
What?
Oh, what?
Does Amazon have podcasts?
Yeah, so it's not like an exclusive deal or anything. Like it's still on all platforms, but they're doing video now for the expert episodes and for their fact checks.
This completely changes their entire
right. So
but
it's not for
so
celebrities.
Smart. It's so smart
expert.
that they've like held out so long, and now they're like, "Who wants their video?"
You know what's funny? I wanted to talk about this because I was listening to the Meghan Trainor fact check, and they were talking about how musicians don't make any money from streaming. And Dax was like saying like, well, people only pay $12 a month to Spotify. Spotify doesn't have a bunch of money to be giving people. And I was like, what? They literally
like they gave you 60 mil.
And he's like, I wouldn't complain about it because I have money. But for the people who do have money, I'm like, bro, you have money from Spotify. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's just the same as the streaming services like Netflix, who give billion-dollar production like money to shows. Like, what? Yeah. That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
I don't understand. Oh, well, people have Spotify with ads, right? Isn't that a thing? Or is there only Spotify? So maybe that's just how they make so much money. Because I don't understand like Spotify and Netflix, how they have such budgets.
Yeah, me either. Yeah. So I wanted to argue with him.
That does suck for artists because like to not be paid for streams. But I wonder how much they were getting of like when music was 99 cents or $1.10 per song.
Yeah, I doubt they were making that much more money when people were buying CDs. I feel like they were always making the bulk of their money touring.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. Did you guys see that girl that's like a fake Taylor Swift performer at this fair?
No.
I think it's in Washington. No, it's not Ashley. It's like, it's literally like a fair and you buy tickets to the fair and then you get to see the show and it's like the full on Eras tour. Like she sewed all her outfits. Like it's actually
Is she
really
allowed
good.
to do that?
I don't know. I guess
get
so.
Sued.
Let me look it up.
That's crazy because you know how Elvis has a shit ton of impersonators?
Yeah.
Taylor already has impersonators. She's not even dead.
Oh, that's so interesting about Elvis impersonators. There are like probably more than any other celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
You can like every time you go to Chicago, if you just go down Michigan Ave, there's at least like one or two.
That's crazy.
I think it's like an easy thing for them to get money for, just to like be an impersonator of somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sent it. It's in New Hampshire, apparently. I thought it was in Washington.
Oh, I saw that and I thought it was Ashley.
Wait, Ashley's not that good.
She looks really good.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is.
But she like, it looks like it's almost like a paid thing, unless like if anybody knows Canopy Lake Park in New Hampshire.
I think she's getting paid for sure. And the backup dancers. And there's an outfit change for every era.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I can't imagine like Taylor Swift licensing her likeness.
No.
For like less than $1 billion.
That's funny. Do you want to talk about Aspen?
Oh, it was so good. I just love Aspen so much.
How was the weather?
Really it was pretty? Incredible, but it was also really hot. So we like did meetings on Friday, and I was wearing like a dress like usual, and we like went to a coffee shop, so we were like inside for a little bit, and the air, like, I don't think they had air conditioning in there, but like they had some fans, so it was kind of warm. And when both Grace and I got up, we were like, wow, it kind of like sticky, like, a little hot. And then we like walked around the block a couple times trying to find like a different coffee shop place to be, because we had like 2 hours in between the meetings, and we were like sweating like crazy. Neither of us like thought to check the weather like of like at that moment. And then we went out to lunch with the next person, and we sat outside, and like I think it was better that we sat outside because there was like wind moving, and like the inside of the restaurant I don't think had AC, or at least not very good. And then I got back in my car, and it was like 105 degrees. And I was like, oh
in the mountains? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the valley of like,
okay,
the Carbondale, basalt areas, like down valley, they call it.
That makes sense.
So it's like still elevation, but it was like less than being in Aspen, I guess. So, but it was like so incredibly hot. I was like, this is insane.
Wow.
But those meetings were really good. And then
were they with brands or?
Yeah, one was with an agency, and then one was with Aspen Snowmass, like the mountain people.
That's cool.
So it was really cool to meet them. And then we just like hung out at the hotel and got dinner. And then the weirdest thing, you guys are not going to be surprised by this whatsoever, but so I like interned for this company that did like a bike race for fundraising for like bicycles for like Africa and water for Africa, specifically in Zambia, like 12 years ago. And I didn't realize the hotel that I did it at was like the hotel I was staying at. And so like I get to the hotel and then go up to my floor, which is on the 3rd floor, and there's a sign that says like Break the Cycle, which is like the name of the organization. And I like looked it up because it sounded so familiar. I was like, this is so weird. Like, I feel like I know what this is. It sounds too like familiar from when I like did 12 years ago. And I kind of talked to my dad about doing it. I'm like, oh, Dad, we should like do this ride, or like we should get involved with this again. But like nothing had ever kind of come of it. And then so I text the lady that I worked with like 12 years ago, and I was like, hey, like, are you in Aspen this weekend? Like, I just saw the signs for Break the Cycle. Like, either way, like,
I haven't talked to this lady for 12 years.
I probably haven't talked to her for like 5 to 7 at least.
Can you imagine 10. Just texting someone?
I wouldn't have your number, probably.
I don't know. I mean, I said it was like, hi, this is Brittany, like, just in case she didn't like have my number still. And then I was like, either way, like, I have the fondest memories of like my summer with you. Like, hope you're doing well. And she calls me like a few minutes later, and she's like,
oh my god,
hey, like, are you here? Like, come out and come to the like happy hour. Like, I would love to, connect with you. And then so like I went out there and talked with her, and she like introduced me to like everybody that was there and like the organization. And so I think I'm gonna like get more involved with it now. But
oh, cool.
Oh my god,
it was just
that's
like
so random.
The most random thing that I didn't choose the hotel that we were staying at. Like Red Bull put us up in this hotel, and so like the fact that we're both there the same weekend, the fact that like the happy hour was on the same floor, so like I saw more of the signs, and that she was there. I was like, this is crazy. So
wow, it's what's that word?
Meant to be.
Like, universe.
Yeah.
Divine timing.
Yes.
All the things.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But I just like I haven't like found anything like that like for so long, because a lot of volunteering and stuff I used to do is like through my church. And so like this is something that I was like always really excited about. And like felt the mission.
Did you go to Africa, or there's like things that you can do?
So you can go to Africa. My dad and mom went to Africa for like one of the first or second trips that they did over there. And like they built the bikes for the people and like delivered the bikes and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. But I've only been to Africa like for a different part of Africa and like for something different, but still like seeing the impact of like little things
like in person. I didn't know you've been to Africa.
Yeah.
It's not like a normal thing.
Yeah, I went to Ghana.
I think I knew that.
Volunteer for like helping with spinal operations over there.
Oh, did you do it while you were in medical sales?
No, I went when I was like in 8th grade, I think.
Oh, when you wanted to be a doctor?
When I wanted to be a doctor, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be so fun.
8th grade to go to Africa?
Yeah. It was pretty impactful.
Yeah.
That's when Cameron went to Africa, I think, was in 8th grade or 7th grade. Yeah, I think that's how I knew that Brittany went.
This is not a normal thing.
Yeah.
Private school for Cam.
Oh.
Yeah. Just Christian private school things.
My parents had just like volunteered a lot like in doing things like in Africa.
Wait, have we talked about if you guys went to DC for middle school?
I did not.
I think so. I didn't go.
That is so crazy.
None of my friends were going. I mean, if all my friends were
going,
that's
like a long ass trip for you guys. I think the people that did go to DC went in like buses. I'm pretty sure they like were bused there.
Oh, whoa, that's
I could be lying about that, but I don't remember.
I mean, I guess that makes more sense. I think actually our stop, like our layover, was in Chicago. So,
yeah. Well, I was in Michigan when I.
Oh yeah, true. Wait,
what? Who?
I don't know.
My middle school definitely did not go to DC, but maybe my sister's private school into DC. I don't know.
It was like the most fun trip of my life, probably. Like in the top 3 still. Like to go with your friends on vacation at 14 years old is
without
crazy.
Your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was so fun.
We went to freaking Traverse City. That was our trip.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like up north in Michigan, like over here.
Interesting.
Yeah, I forgot that we did that. I was like, what did we do instead of going to...
Have you been to all the lakes?
I don't know that I've been to Lake Superior. But I think I've been to every other lake.
Isn't Superior like the biggest? Or no?
I think it's the biggest. It's the one that's like next to like Minnesota and the UP. And let me see. Let me just make sure. I'm not very good at geography.
For me, with the East Coast, all the states are
know.
too small to know.
I know.
Okay, it is bordered by the Upper Peninsula, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Actually, yeah, it is. Okay. Yep.
My favorite thing on Love Island is like when American people say a city in the US and then like the British or Australian people are like, I have no idea what that is. Like never heard of Sacramento in my life.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, I think I've been to all the other ones.
That's awesome. My dad texted me this weekend and was like, are you guys down for a spring break trip to Hawaii? I'll get the Airbnb if you get the flights. And I was like, hell yeah.
Next year?
Never been to Hawaii. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really need to get over my travel shit.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be doing things. Like just doing
But I
things
still do things. It doesn't help.
But the frequency kind of like even with our podcast trips, it's like, I mean, we haven't done that in a minute.
I don't know. I feel like I need EMDR or something like that.
You definitely could try that. I think it works great for a lot of people.
I need to be like, my brain needs a reset or something.
Did you do what did you do EMDR for? Didn't you do EMDR, Maggie?
Yeah.
Just like
I didn't personally like it. Yeah, it really started like it was, I don't know, it was so weird. Like the way it started was like when I found my dog dead when I was like 5. I don't know why like she started with that. I don't know if that's like maybe the first like one of my first memories or something. But she'd be like I'd have to hold on to those things and like try to picture it, and then she'd be like, how are you feeling, blah blah blah, and I would just like not know. Like I'd be like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling anything. Like I'm just trying to think what I should feel or like what I should be telling you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like, I don't know.
I think do you think it works better if you like have like really intense emotions that you remember?
Probably.
Like because this is like something I think I've like figured out that I connected it to this like more recently, but I slammed my sister's fingers in the door when I was like 3, I think. And her pinky was like being held on by like a piece of skin. And so like obviously my parents were like freaking out. And then we like went to the ER and my parents took me into the room and I had to see my sister like strapped down and screaming on the bed. And
then like blaming yourself. That's a lot.
But like, yeah. And I don't think my parents were like really blaming me, but I knew it was my fault, you know?
Yeah.
And I just remember like, there's so many emotions because I remember trying to justify and be like, she was coming in here and like, because I was going to the bathroom and I was like, this is my private time. And then like all the commotion and then her like screaming in the bed was like crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that it like, whenever I hear ambulances or like fire trucks and stuff, it triggers something in my man.
Did they come and pick her up in an ambulance?
No, I think we took her in a car. And like like our what color? Like aqua, blue, green, like Windstar minivan. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
With only one open door, like one sliding door.
Yeah, that's pretty traumatic. So yeah, I don't understand though if you were to do that situation, say, and you're like describing how you feel and stuff, it's supposed to like flip your feelings or just make those feelings like less intense, but I just don't know how to get to that point. It's probably just getting a good therapist.
I bet you it's similar to like when I was little, I was afraid of vampires and somehow I would have nightmares about vampires.
And then Twilight came out.
That's kind of crazy. Like, how did you know about vampires? Like, was it from like
you know what? Show? I have no idea. It was probably some random clip of something. But anyways, I had this idea that like I was literally dreaming and I decided to make the vampire my friend instead of being afraid of it. And it like switched this thing in my brain. So then I stopped having nightmares about vampires. So I feel like maybe therapy like that is kind of similar to like just making like flipping that connection in your brain, because I feel like I have these wires crossed in my brain because I had a bad experience or two while traveling and now it's like ruined everything.
100%. That's so weird. I used to have a reoccurring nightmare about a vampire in like this haunted house that I went into. There must have been
some kids thing or something.
There must have been, because I have no idea either where that came from for me.
There's one like I feel like it was around like Halloween movie. I feel like there was something with vampires.
Yeah,
probably.
I can't remember.
I feel like with travel, it's so hard because there's so many things that are like out of your control.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if like, I think it just takes a lot of repetition and like practice, because like even the last like 5 to 10 years, I feel like I'm much more chill when I travel versus before. I'm like, oh my God, these people are so stupid. Like, why don't they know how to do security lines? Like, why, you know, in things like taking longer, like the weather, I used to get like so much more annoyed by it, but I'm like, I can't do anything about it. So
yeah,
just like,
because your stuff,
people,
it's not just like, oh, the plane might crash or something. It's like you're also anxious once you're at the location.
Yeah,
right?
that's
even driving
part.
To the airport, like,
yeah,
if you're gonna be there on time, if you're gonna like,
yeah, all of that's normal anxiety though, and like my anxiety of just feeling shitty the entire time I'm away from home is the problem. Like,
yeah,
I can't sleep. I wake up with like raging anxiety. I just like can't ever calm down the entire time.
You get migraines too, which is really bad, right? Or was that just like,
it's not tied to my anxiety? That was, I mean, I do get migraines, but it's not usually something that I deal with. Maggie was the one with the migraine in Palm Springs.
But you had one in Denver.
I did get one in Denver.
That was like really
That's
bad.
Weird.
Like took you out.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I wonder if like you like did as many things as possible to make when you're away feel as much like home, like bringing the same pillow or your blanket or like
those things
the hatch or like a little willow stuffed animal or something, and like pretend. Because it's also like with sleeping, I know that when I tell myself like I can't sleep, I'm not going to be able to sleep, I'm going to sleep horribly tonight, then like it makes me sleep horribly. Rather if I try to just like whatever happens. My mom always told me if you're closing your eyes and laying there, you're getting as much rest as you are when you're actually sleeping, which is not true, I don't think, but it always made me fall asleep.
Yeah, that's a good trick. You need to believe those things too, because I'm just like, it's hard to trick your brain when you believe something so much.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sleep when I travel. But even before I had travel anxiety, I couldn't sleep when I traveled. So the travel anxiety has like just made it worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel it's kind of interesting though, because like even with the Oura ring, there are some nights where I'm like, I slept like shit. Like I just like the quality that I felt of my sleep is like so much different than the Oura shows. And then the Oura is like, you got like a 95 sleep score. And I'm like, well, I didn't feel like it. So like,
that's why I have trouble trusting it.
But I mean, like, I think it's pretty accurate in terms of like the cycles. I feel like they're pretty like good with that, but that doesn't, I guess, necessarily mean that, like, I think your anxiety probably affects it a little more than like we realize. Like if we go to bed anxious or like we have something going on, like even though you might be in deep sleep or like REM sleep, like it just might not be like the same quality because of your dreams, or maybe, I don't know, like other things.
The main contributor of your sleep score is actually how quickly your heart rate lowers and how low it gets. So like on Friday night, I drank a couple of margaritas and my heart rate didn't lower all night. And my sleep score was like 65 and I was like, oh.
I know. Mine was like,
whoa.
And the altitude too for me this weekend. It was like your heart rate did not get below like 70.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And that's how you rest. You know, your heart rate slows down and your body can rejuvenate or whatever.
Crazy.
So crazy.
I have to pee. Really bad. I was like really trying to hold it, but I think I need to go before we start questions.
Okay,
or you guys can start a question.
Start questions.
Okay.
The first one that I am reading is for you.
For me?
Or for Maggie.
Oh, okay.
Let's
ask that one now while she's gone.
There's one for me though, so I can read this.
Yeah.
This is for Britt. I went back and re-listened to an older episode. I do this all the time since I stay up to date on new episodes. It's literally the first thing I do on Tuesdays.
Oh my god.
I love you guys.
I'm sorry that we're late today.
That means so much though. I rediscovered that Britt's parents are from Canada. I am too, and I was just so curious as to where they grew up. It's such a small world, and now that I've moved to the States, I find myself running into more and more people from back home. It just makes me feel so happy and proud. I'm from a small town 30 minutes north of Toronto called Caledon, but also have roots in Gravenhurst, Guelph, and St. Catharines, Niagara Falls. I don't know where Caledon is or Gravenhurst, but I know Guelph. My parents grew up in Etobicoke and Mississauga.
These all sound like such foreign words to me.
Yeah. And it's also funny if you read how they're both spelled, I mean, I did not know how to pronounce them. Like look up here, how do you spell Etobicoke?
Yeah.
I'm going to text it to you guys.
Okay.
And you're going to see it and be like, what? Maybe you wouldn't.
Oh, what the fuck?
I know.
What Etobicoke.
Yeah. Etobicoke, and then
I would definitely say Etobicoke.
This is the other one.
Oh my
god.
Mississauga. Yeah.
Mrs. Sausage.
Wait, it does look like sausage.
Yeah. I never knew how to say or like write those out, or that they were spelled that way.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I have family like in Sarnia, London, Ontario.
Okay, what are we starting with?
Oh, and then the next one for Maggie is ladies, I'm getting married next year. Congrats.
Congratulations.
I've seen this trend all over social media of couples sending extra invites out to their favorite companies like Disney, Chick-fil-A, and getting a ton of free stuff, kind words, and wishes back. I was wondering if Maggie, you did this, where the three of you would recommend, and like where the three of us would recommend sending them out.
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did, but I didn't do it like in the best way possible. We just had a lot of extra save the dates, so I didn't even do our invites. I did our save the dates, and I just looked up like best companies to send your save the dates or invites to, and there's a lot of articles on it. So I kind of feel like people then send them all to the same places where maybe people are like over it. And I didn't include any extra like details or notes or anything like that. So I haven't gotten anything back whatsoever. But like I do think that people say, like, if you say you're sending it to Chick-fil-A or something and you send like a picture of you and your fiance with Chick-fil-A and say like, this is, you've mean a lot in our relationship, and like write along your like note kind of type of thing.
Same thing as shipping.
Exactly. Like make it more personal and make it more why they would want to send you something specifically. But like I just did not have the time or energy for that, so I literally just like with our extra save the dates sent them.
Yeah, I would send them to like your favorite brands that you love to use.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use L'Occitane, but I feel like they would be really nice and like send you some self-care products and stuff, because I posted a video just showing that I was out of my shower body oil, and they sent me a little care package with restocks of the 2 things in my video that I was running out of with a note.
That is so nice. Yeah, but like even saying that, like, oh, I ran out of this, is like you showing that you're a fan and you've gone through a whole bottle of something. Like, so adding any details like that, I feel like would help a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, picking brands that you love.
I also think too, like, I don't know how you could necessarily do this via email, but I feel like almost email might be more effective.
Definitely.
Just like the PR person, because like you don't need the influencer manager. You don't really need the social media person. I mean, sometimes it might be that person, but the PR people, a lot of companies just like are able to send extra PR. Like,
for sure,
for them to do that.
Our friends that got married in March, they're not like, they don't post or anything, like have followings or anything, but they emailed this dessert brand that they like, that's like these gluten-free little dessert balls from Costco, and they emailed the specific brand asking for a few bags of them, and they sent them like a whole pallet, like 30 plus bags,
like True Fruit, like companies like
I like that.
Yeah, I think email is a good idea too, for sure.
This might be the same girly. Me again with wedding advice, despite me being in this day since literally age 3. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. LOL. Please help with my wedding planning advice. Any wedding planning advice whatsoever. I'm hoping to have a beach ceremony. Please pray for good weather next August, and have lots of good ideas that I want to incorporate, but just need help with general wedding advice, do's, don'ts, etiquette. We could do an episode on this, like recapping all of it.
That would be fun. Like in your recap episode, then you can like share a list of like things you wish that you didn't do, things you wish you did do.
Yeah, because I'm sure I'll know like a lot more after it happens.
I think that would be really helpful. I'm also selfishly wanting an entire episode dedicated to it for me.
Yeah. Also, that's exciting that she's getting married next August, because then like that's like my anniversary. How crazy.
Dude, it's coming up so fast. I'm like, we're booking our flights today.
I need to do it today too.
Crazy. Yeah, we could do definitely a whole episode on it, but I would say just the most general advice is like deconstruct a plan. Like, don't think of typical traditional weddings whatsoever, and think of just what you would want to make the best day and weekend or whatever possible. Because even when people would tell me that at the beginning before we started, I still was thinking of a traditional wedding and thinking like, oh, what would I want to change though within the traditional wedding timeline and traditional wedding day? What do I want to make different about it? But realistically, you can do literally anything. You can just go on vacation and just do a beach vacation and have 40 of your best friends, or like there's so many different options besides like the typical layout of a wedding day. So yeah, just like deconstruct what just you and your fiance want to do and what would make you happy
and what makes sense.
Yeah, because a lot of people will tell you like, do what you want to do, but this would be great.
I think that's good. I don't know if you guys have it pulled up, but I'm just like going like way back from things we haven't answered yet. So
I don't have it. Okay,
no, because I have it pulled up, but I don't know of like ones that we haven't or not.
Okay, I've using the one I've been color coding. So
nice.
Organized. My little sister, she's 23 and I'm 26, is in a psychologically and emotionally abusive relationship for the past 3 years. I'm talking gaslighting, manipulation, emotional extortion, isolation. This guy has cheated on her in the past, literally had a girlfriend on the side for months, and she stayed with him. I barely recognized my little sister anymore because he's completely ruined her. She has a degree in criminology and knows all about the cycle of violence. She is also fully aware that she's in a toxic and abusive relationship, but she refuses to leave. I don't know how to make her see that she needs to leave him.
I'm so sorry. My sister was in a similar situation, and honestly, I feel like the best thing that you can do is be there when they need someone to complain about, you know, because like with my sister, if I was always like, I already told you, I don't want to hear about this, I told you this is what you need to do, and like almost you want to cut them off because you think that's what's gonna put it in their brain, like here's the ultimatum, either me or him, and that's just going to damage your relationship with your sister for when she actually does need help. But like with my sister, she had to realize it herself. Like I was always there giving my advice and like being like, well, you know, he shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is abusive. That's not true. You're not like that, you know?
Yeah.
But I agree with that. She had to come to it on her own.
I think you being there and like checking in on her as much as possible, and like she knows you're a safe place to come to, will be so much more impactful than like you making it really obvious that you don't like that person. Because then they don't open up to you about anything because they're like ashamed and embarrassed that they're doing something they know they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's so sad. I think also in a lot of situations, like, I don't know about them, they're just dating, so they're not married, but if they're living together or anything like that, like there might be logistical reasons of why she can't leave, like whether money or if he's isolating her, he might be controlling money or things like that. So I've heard too, if you're like, besides just being like the safe space, which knowing she can always go to you if she does decide to leave and everything, but like also sharing with her that you have a plan or something of like a way that she can get out when she wants to, like whether that's being like, yeah, you can come to my house, or like we can start setting money aside for you, so then that way like when it is time we have this set aside, or like I can help you get this job, or whatever it might be of the reasons why she's like thinking that she cannot leave, besides just loving him probably, unfortunately, which is huge. But yeah, I think it's like addiction where like you can't leave, you can't make somebody leave until they're ready, which sucks. Like that's so hard to just watch your sister.
Yeah, especially being the older sister. Totally feel that, like mama bear protective energy.
It takes an average of 7 times for somebody to leave and stay left.
So hard.
That sounds about right.
That's crazy though. That's so many.
Yeah.
Hi there. I need some advice. I'm 27, work in tech, and live in the Bay Area. I'm single as hell and have been on 2 dates with this new guy. Let's call him Jeff. Jeff and I went out for drinks and appetizers for a second date, and he asked if I wanted to go see his apartment. I said okay, and as soon as we got back, he made me a drink, and we started chatting on the couch. He then put his hand on my leg, and we started making out. I was so turned on, one thing led to another, and he started going down on me, but then quickly got up and said he wasn't feeling good and had to cancel our date. I asked if anything I did, it was anything I did, but he said no. He had such a strange look on his face. He called me an Uber for me and I left. No text, and it's been 2 days. I'm suspecting it's because I wasn't so fresh downstairs, but maybe I'm making this up. And I do tend to get yeast infections due to working out a lot, but swear I didn't have one then. What do I do? Should I ask? Maybe it was him. I'm really into him, but I fear it. He's not into me. Any advice?
Yeah, that's so weird.
That's like, I don't know what
I would do. I would probably ask him.
I'd probably like leave it because
I would.
He doesn't have the balls to like. I mean, it's an uncomfortable situation. Like if something did happen, like what she's talking about, like maybe she had like a start of yeast infection. I don't know, but whatever it is, like if he's like, I don't know, mature enough, he's like willing to have that conversation.
That's what's weird, kind of.
If it were me, I would just never speak to him again because I would not want to know.
Yeah, realistically. And also, do you want to date a guy that would look at you that way or like treat the situation that way? Like you said, Britt, being more mature about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're like not desperate, but it's like I've been single for so long and it's been so long since I've met someone that I'm into, and now this happens.
I think you should know too, like if it was stinky or you started a yeast infection, like you would probably know that, I think.
Yeah.
No, after when I was 17 and I was dating the boy that was like 22, and it was like not good. It's not a good situation. He would always make me feel very insecure about my vagina, or like make comments like that, like it's stinking, or like the way that it looked and things like that. And I was 17, so I was like so fucking insecure and had no idea at all about anything. Like I just thought he was right because he was older. And like just looking back, like that's so wild. Like every situation that he'd ever say things in, like that is so wild.
That is
that he would act that way. And like when you're with an actual manly person and whatever, they do not say anything like that or make you feel that way.
No. Or they have like an honest conversation. Like I know sometimes like it's been a long day, I've been like running around, whatever, and John was like, let's just go like do a little shower. I was like, that's fine. I think that's so fair. I'm like, I don't want that to be a problem. Like either way.
For sure. Like it can be the same thing and vice versa with their little stinky penises.
Like, my friend recently told me she thought that like all dicks and balls just smelled bad. Like she just thought like that was a thing. But apparently she was just dating dirty boys because her husband is very clean and like never smells, and she has no issues. And I was like, I cannot believe that you just never brought that up to me, because I'd be like, make them wash that shit, like scrub, like get the full thing, because that's not how it should be.
Wild. Yeah. And then it makes girls so insecure, and like that's why people fuck up their pH balance and stuff, because you're like not supposed to be douching and doing all this like cleaning or touching the inside of your vagina with cleaning products. Crazy. I'm sorry that happened to you. That really sucks. Yeah. But it's probably not you. Like they say, unless like you can really smell it and like think that there's a medical issue, nothing's wrong with you. Like
also I understand like having like feeling like you're like, oh, I have like such great chemistry with this one person. Like you'll find another person that you have like similar chemistry with, or better.
For sure.
Maybe he just realized he was gay.
Maybe
in that moment
he's like, oh
no, I don't like this.
That's funny. I am re-entering dating after being single for a while, but because I was in a 5-year relationship, I am needing advice on how I should be, because it has been such a long time, paired with already being so shy and awkward. How can I get out of my shell more? I can tell it is turning people off, and the harder I try, the worse I fear it is getting. LOL. I'm 28, but I feel I am lost, and everyone else my age is fun and enticing and has this whole dating thing down.
First of all, you are fun, and just because I forgot what I was
just because you were in a relationship for 5 years doesn't mean you like lost your personality.
And there's no like if there's no way that you think
you're boring. Yeah, if people are thinking that you're boring, then they're not good for you.
They're not your person.
Yeah.
I like recently one of my friends was dating like a guy who's just very like into fitness and activities and doing things, and she's like not into it. Like that's not like her thing. And so like she kind of had to make a decision of like, okay, this is not the type of person I want to be dating, because that's just not what's fun to me. Like she's okay doing it every once in a while, but it's not like what she wants to do all the time. And I feel like if you can think about it in that's kind of like a very like black and white thing versus like being shy or like being more reserved. Like there's nothing wrong with that either. Like it's just not the right fit, you know?
She said that it was a turn off, right? That she is quiet or awkward. So like if people are turned off by that, then I mean, if you have the courage to be going on dates in the first place, like that's so amazing.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep going until you find the person that likes you for your awkwardness.
Because I wonder what she means by, like, I can tell people are turned off by it. Like, what
Probably
does that
just
mean?
like
What are
an
people doing?
insecurity of when you're a quiet, shy person. Like how I just always think that people think I'm boring and they don't actually know me because I am quiet and not like all the other people who are like fun, quote unquote, and bubbly and like everybody loves them when they come over and they're so good at talking and whatever. So then I'm like insecure that I'm just like boring and quiet.
Yeah. It's hard because I partly feel like in relationships there should be like a balance of somebody who is more outgoing and more doing things and then somebody who's not as talkative.
Mm-hmm.
Like my sister's husband is so just chill. Like he's just the ultimate chill. He's a little nerdy. He has no social media whatsoever. Like, and then my sister's very outgoing. Her laugh is like the loudest in every room possible. Like, I think that there is a balance of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think even if your personalities are opposite, you should agree on like the things that you like to do, sort of thing. Like, so maybe you would like somebody who's more likes to go to bookstores and chill at home and go out to eat and more chill things rather than maybe if people are thinking you're boring based on the activities you like. Because I just feel like shy people are usually the most fun once you're like get to know them. Like it's not like shy people when you're hanging out with them and your close friends are like just sitting there and don't talk to you. Like that's just not the case.
Yeah. I also think it can also like it can definitely be lifestyle too. Like somebody who is maybe more introverted and works like in the office and works like 9 to 5 and has to present and be in meetings and stuff, like they're going to be like a lot more reserved after work. Like so dating like that, you might need to find like a different time of day or like I don't know, different situation to date people in because that person is going to seem a lot more quote unquote boring because they just don't have the like mental energy after work to do things.
That's so true.
So it could just be like finding another lifestyle match in regards to that.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think it's like everyone at your age is fun and enticing and you're just not. Like that's not true. The right person will think you're very fun. Have you seen that TikTok trend where it's like people think I'm weird or whatever, and it's like a music playing with like a video of a girl dancing weird, and then it's like you haven't seen my boyfriend, and then it's like the boyfriend's doing a bunch of weird things and dance moves and stuff. I think it's like just finding someone on your same page.
But match your freak.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that's the trend, right? Or are you talking about two different trends?
I don't think it's
because I think the match my freak one is really funny. Like when people do like their weird things. Dev, do you have it written up or pulled up?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Eric, I can do the next one if you want. Okay. The early 20s one. Okay. I'm in my early 20s, and a lot of my friends are starting to get into serious relationships, move in with their partners, or get married. Every time I try online dating, I realize it's just not a priority for me right now. I'm in a PhD program in a field that I love. I'm very introverted and would much rather focus on school and my personal hobbies. But it's difficult not to feel like there's something wrong with me and that I should be actively trying to find a relationship right now, especially since I haven't really dated anyone in about a year. Any advice on how to feel comfortable with where I'm at? P.S. Devin, your content gives me so much life and is exactly what I need in this stage of life.
Thank you. Yeah, that's how I've been lately. Like, it's just not, I mean, I think it is, quote unquote, normal for a lot of people to be obsessed with like dating. Like, that's their main priority, you know? And like, for me, it hasn't been for a long time. Like, I just don't care about it until someone brings it up with me. Like, oh, you're single? Why are you single? You're still single? When was the last time why aren't you dating anyone? And then it's like, oh, well, what am I doing wrong? Because I don't want to. It's not even that I'm like scared. It's like I care about other things. My brain is not focusing on dating at all until someone brings it up.
For sure. I also think that with a lot of these things, like they're starting to date or like get into serious relationships, move in or get married, those are all like really like bigger milestones. So it probably makes it even a bigger like difference of like where you're at versus where they're at because a lot of your friends are like making those big next steps instead of like even just dating people. Like, you know, if someone's just casually dating, you probably wouldn't feel so like such a drastic difference, but because they're like doing these big things, it's probably more like obvious.
Yeah. But it's so annoying that like that is the biggest priority. Like everybody,
but also you're in a fucking PhD program. That's like that's massive, what I'm gonna say. Like, accomplishment. Like, that means you've like graduated. You did your undergrad, or like obviously you graduated high school. You graduated like college. You probably did like a master's program, or maybe you did just jumped in a PhD. But either way, like that's huge.
Yeah, and people don't recognize that as being a huge accomplishment because they're like, oh, but you're single. Why are you single? Like, that's all people care about. And it's like, bro, I'm working my ass off. I love what I'm doing. I love my job or my school or whatever. Yeah, and it's just annoying dealing with society.
And I feel like if you do have a lot of personal hobbies, like keep leaning into those because you could just make like incredible friendships and just pour into those things. That could lead to other things when you're ready for the next step.
Yeah, it's just like people have different priorities at different times of life, and it's not even like what is above the other. It's probably just that's what they're currently in, so then they're talking about that more. But like, I don't know, I think being in a relationship can be like an accomplishment in a way, but not really being in a relationship is like an accomplishment. It's like maybe being with someone for a long time or like having a successful marriage and stuff is an accomplishment, but just like having a boyfriend isn't really an accomplishment in itself. And like doing things like getting your PhD is a huge accomplishment. And it's funny, like at different times of your life, like when I was right out of high school, I had several friends that were having babies or getting married or like doing these milestone things. And like now a lot of them are divorced or like not with the person anymore even. And like now I'm like the first one getting married, even though I have like multiple friends that have already gone through marriages or had babies and stuff. So it's like it all just flows and goes up and down, and like people might be doing that right now, but that won't always be the case. And then you might find your partner and be with them when they're single again.
Yeah. But it will always be the case that people are going to be asking you about it. That's never going to stop.
It's like jobs, like how people, it's like the first two things almost when you're talking about people or like dating or in friendships or see somebody you haven't seen in a long time. It's like, oh, what are you doing for work? And are you dating anybody? It's like those are just like the go-tos, which is weird.
And I think I need to get better at putting people, like not appeasing people when they ask me about it. Why aren't you dating anyone? It's like, oh, you know, I just haven't found anyone. It's like, because I need to put them in their place and be like, I don't want to right now.
Yeah.
And that's the
end of it. Then honestly, that kind of like stops the conversation dead in its tracks. Like there's nothing else. Because when you're like, oh, I haven't found the right person or whatever, then people like start jumping in with advice or like,
I need to set you up.
Yeah. Versus like you're like, it's not, I don't want to right now. Like then I feel like there's not a whole lot to say after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nothing's wrong with you at all. And I just like think that everybody's meant to do things at different times. Like it might be that your soulmate is like in this PhD program or something, or like somebody that you meet after you're done with it and you get that first job and then you'll meet your soulmate or something. Like,
or maybe you don't have a soulmate and you don't need one. I know, but like that's also like your
like that's still like the end
like
goal.
You're getting married and you're like, that's what I care about, that's what you care about, you know. So like maybe she's just getting her PhD and she's going to have an amazing career and make amazing friends, and that's all that she needs, you know.
Yeah, because I guess like in my head I still have the thing of like, oh, some people meet their person when they're like 50 something, and that's still like the like end goal, I guess. Yeah, not actually, but like what people think of.
Yeah, like that's still like what the main priority is. Like, oh, but maybe you'll meet them. Like maybe I don't care who I meet.
Yeah, you know? And really all that means at the end of the day is like having some like support in your life and having somebody that's there for you, and that can fully be family or friends or anybody.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I'm really excited to read this follow-up one.
Oh, okay.
The birthday party one?
I don't know. I haven't seen the birthday party one, but there's somebody who gave us an update on advice we gave.
Okay, should we do that or should we do this long birthday one or both and then be done?
What is a long birthday one?
It's under the PhD one. Am I the asshole?
Should we do both?
Yeah, maybe both.
I don't want to stop. I'm just like enjoying this.
Okay, we can do a shorter Patreon. Okay. Am I the asshole for getting upset with my friends at my birthday party? I planned a trip for my birthday this year, and it was a big one for me. I invited 3 of my closest girlfriends and their husbands, who my partner and I are also very close with, as we are the link between all the couples, i.e., we introduced everyone to each other. On my birthday, I felt 2 of the couples were sticking together more than anyone else. I actually felt like the odd one out on my own birthday. They stuck together the entire trip. They would take all the Ubers together, even when I suggested splitting up the group so we and I could get a few minutes of some alone time with each couple, but that was shot down. They stuck together on all of the rides. Another time we were out at a bar, and the 4 of them all went off on their own to a separate part of the bar without us. I'm still pretty hung up on it, I guess because I would never do that to someone or want any of my friends to feel this way, especially on their birthday. Obviously, I'm forever grateful and appreciate that they spent this money to be with me and celebrate my birthday, but I can't help but think, am I overreacting? I don't know if I should bring this up to my girlfriends the next time I see them or not. I'm so horrible at confrontation that I'd rather not, but we've all collectively decided to go on a couples trip once or twice a year, so I don't want this to happen again. Thanks for taking the time to read this, ladies. I appreciate and love the podcast seriously so much. Thank you.
That's so fun. I love that you guys go on couples trips like that.
Yeah, that's really fun.
But whenever I do big group trips like that, it's inevitable that people kind of like gravitate towards each other. Like, you know, like taking the Ubers with those people. Like, I don't think it's an asshole move to bring it up and be like, I kind of feel like I wish I could have spent more time with these people or whatever. Maybe next time we can be more open or more aware of that.
Yeah. I would ask is it her husband or just her boyfriend? Your partner or whatever. I would ask him if he also felt that. Like, was it something that he was also constantly noticing the whole time and talking to you about? Because I feel like sometimes I am like extra sensitive, or like I really notice things that people aren't even purposefully trying to do.
Yeah.
That still just like hurt my feelings or upset me, when boys usually don't take things to heart as much, or just like aren't noticing a lot of those things. So if he was noticing it, it probably was more like straight up they were doing that every single time versus like you just feeling upset by it. And then also, if there was 3 other girlfriends and 2 of the couples were together, then that means you were with one other couple the whole time mostly. So like I wonder if that's just how it naturally split up, and then the other 2 thought like, oh well, they're always together, like we're gonna be together.
I definitely think like if you're like, because sometimes it's almost just like the obvious, like you just feel it more because it's such an obvious thing that those 2 girls are like doing more things together. But like, were you paying more attention to that stuff versus like just enjoying kind of the whole trip? Or like, are those 2 like your best friends and you want to be included in that like kind of group? Because if that's the case, I feel like just bringing it up and saying like, hey, like you guys are like my favorite people to be around, like I love being together, like I'd love to make sure next time we like go on a trip that like we're doing more things together. And I'm not just like with the other, like especially if it's like the entire group again.
Yeah, I would definitely bring it up and use I statements. Like, I feel like, you know, without like making them feel like they did anything wrong, but just like bringing it to light.
Yeah.
Like that I kind of felt like we didn't hang out as much. I wish we would have been together more, or I wish we would have went on a ride together, or, you know.
I also think
go ahead, babe.
Just like in bigger groups of people, like anytime I've like been in a group of new people before, like if they're both friends with you, like a lot of times you're going to be really good friends with like the girls that you like connect with. Like a lot of my friends, if I've like gotten together with their friends, I'm like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this person. Like they're so fun. They're so cool. And so I feel like it's kind of a natural thing where like people find new connections and it's exciting. So especially if they haven't done a ton of things before or like spent extended time together, Like,
and when I was younger, that used to hurt my feelings when I would introduce two friends and then they became close and like would hang out without me. I'd be like, you were my friend first. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like that would really hurt me when I was younger. And now it's like exciting. Like I love when friends that I have from different parts like then become friends. But still when I'm included, like that would still make me upset, I guess, if people were just like hanging out without me.
Did that also happen think at your bachelorette party? Like were there people grouping off?
Yeah, like in a way that I liked, I think. Like where I was like, oh, like I'm excited that this person from this time of my life is hanging out with this person from elementary school. And then like even my cousin and one of my best friends, they were like, oh, like we should go work out together because they work out at the same gym. And then the next time I was there, my cousin came over for dinner at my friend's house. And like, I was like, oh, this is so fun that you guys are now friends and spending time together.
Yeah.
But I also think when we're hanging out in couples, a lot of the times it's fun to split up of the boys and the girls. Like if you're Ubering or something, like have all the girls go in one Uber and all the boys go in one Uber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I agree. But I don't think you're the asshole.
No, I think just bring it up and honestly just like maybe they didn't even notice that they were doing that.
Yeah.
Especially if drinking was involved.
And I also think too, if you're like the host, it's like your birthday and like all the attention's on you. Like I think it's also natural for people to kind of like not try and like bug you or like not try and monopolize your time and like let you be part of the like bigger group.
And your expectations are higher too in a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is though, it's really funny like when you are the person that's supposed to be getting attention. This happened to us, I think at the bachelorette party or at the shower or something. And then when I went to my friend's shower on Sunday, it was like nobody sat with her because everybody was thinking like, oh, we need to save the room for whoever she wants to like sit with or be closest with. So she was literally alone at the table because everybody didn't sit with her. And she's like, can you guys please sit with me? She's like, yeah. But like, yeah, that's sometimes awful. Like that, it's like people are trying not to bug you or think like, I don't know, where they think that they're doing something better, but really they're like leaving you alone.
Yeah. I think that's very natural. Okay. I'm very excited to read this recap. This is an update.
Okay.
So I'm a man in my mid-30s struggling with dating women, and you gave me homework. Cut or otherwise shorten where you need to. First of all, thank you for spending the time answering my initial question. I took your advice about dating apps. I gave Hinge another try for a few months, and I'm here to report I got several matches. One always took 24 hours to respond, so that didn't go anywhere. The others didn't respond at all. I do have a dog, so you were spot on. He loves people, and I occasionally take him to go to the local social area, my third place, because people give him the attention he craves. Folks have bought me drinks and even given me cash because they like him so much.
That's wild.
Start doing that.
He is a great conversation starter. Not for his speaking skills, but for his looks and personality. I have had many great conversations with people as a result and have met interesting individuals I probably would not have otherwise. When I go there on my own, I still meet and chat with new people. Thanks to the size of my friend group, it's guaranteed a few friends will be there as well. Our friend groups all mingle there, so meeting new people isn't a problem at all. I meet several folks a month this way and have dated a few of the women. I don't have a problem with women asking me out. It's just never happened. Actually, my most common piece of advice to women is to ask guys out. If a man gets hurt by that, he's most likely not going to be a fun date. It's not going to be fun to date. I gave Bumble a try and had the least success compared to other apps. Now that Bumble is relaxing the women go first thing, I may try again. I'm big on personal growth, so I make an effort to improve myself. You don't need to tell me to ask for feedback twice. When women don't give a reason for ending things, I almost always ask. The most common reason is no chemistry. This has become less frequent as I've been doing a lot of reading on how to create chemistry and practice has gone a long way. The second most common is phrased two different ways. She thinks I'm too intimidating, successful, or she thinks she isn't worthy or good enough for my affection. This always stems from my work. Admittedly, I've been lucky in my life, but I think this has more to do with those women's insecurities. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed from my friends, strangers and women I'm trying to flirt with is that they sometimes misjudge me as being gay. Nobody has ever had a good explanation why. I'm fairly certain it's my feminine qualities. I'm not realistically going to change those qualities as they are part of my personality. To be my authentic self, they have to stay. Okay, that makes sense.
It's just because you're smart and like open-minded, probably.
And nice.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I asked my closest friend, who happens to be married, for advice on my dating profile. He suggested I add a few inches to my height list of random regular jobs, say I'm religious when I'm not, and take new pictures to inflate my wealth and lifestyle to get more matches. Again,
don't
he's
ask
married.
Your guy friends.
Do not listen to him.
Or married guy friends. I'm going to get a second opinion before making changes. Thank you again for answering my initial question. Do you have any more advice? Can you help with better making chemistry? What are your thoughts on my friend's suggestions? Even though I'm not exactly in your target audience, I still enjoy listening to the podcast. I'd be happy to make a guest appearance on an episode to talk about this more in depth, back and forth.
That could be really fun.
First of all, don't lie on your dating profile, because
don't do that.
Going to help. I mean, maybe you'll get more matches, but then you're going to waste time meeting up with them, and they're going to feel lied to.
That's stupid. I have so much to say. I feel like, first of all, just based on the things that you've submitted to us and the way that you talk, you're very funny. Like, I love, like, you throw in these little sarcastic undertone jokes a lot that I think is very funny. And I'm just kind of imagining the type of guy that you are based on these few things that you've sent in. But I'm picturing you being one of those nice guys who is usually quieter, but then when you're actually paying attention and listening to them, they have a lot to say. They have deep conversations. They're funny, and you do want to be with them, but like it's not a right off the bat thing. And when girls are telling you either lack of chemistry or you're too good for them or things like that, I honestly think it's them trying to not hurt your feelings or making up excuses because they're just not feeling the chemistry or not really liking you, and then using that as an excuse. Because a lot of times it's like the dumbest thing ever, but like girls, not all girls obviously, but there's this thing of like wanting not the nice guy. Like that's why they always say like nice guys finish last and stuff, because like it's almost like there's not that attraction or something when somebody is treating you right and being nice to you. Like I have so many friends who are like, this guy's too nice to me, I don't like him, like I don't believe him because he's saying these nice things, or like it doesn't seem real, or like in Love Island.
I wonder if he played a little hard to get.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say. Like take something out of it, but not in a way that's changing your personality where you're gonna start like being mean to girls or something, but like where you just add like a little bit of mystery or something where like a little hard to get, where girls are more interested in it. I don't know.
Like, oh, this is a challenge that I want to take on.
Yeah, there's this boy in Love Island. His name's Connor. Is his name Connor? I think. Dev?
Rob?
No, the nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was with Leah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody ever likes the nice guy on Love Island.
And he's
so
great.
Weird.
He's so cute.
Yeah,
he's nice. He's
so
tall.
Cute.
He has no issues whatsoever. And like the girls simply aren't liking him because he's like too much of a nice guy. Like there's not that weird like chemistry, and there's not that like back and forth. And does he like me? Does he not like me?
This is also interesting about like being the nice guy, because I think oftentimes too the nice guy can also just be like people pleaser energy, where it's like I'm trying to do everything to like make you like me or make you happy or like make sure you're okay. And I almost think like just being more relaxed in yourself and you're not so worried about the other person, I think that's kind of like the energy that makes people kind of like pull back. Like the too much, like, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being people pleaser and being considerate. Like no one's gonna blame you for being considerate, but if you're like being like too much, like, oh my god, like, can I get you a drink? Can I get you water? Like, do you want a blanket? Do you want like?
He also came on too strongly, too quick, and was very open about his emotions. Where I think there needed to be more mystery and like
of Connor.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
he
sometimes
was just like very non-toxic. Like, I like you. I'm gonna treat you right. I'm nice to you. And it was just like, whoa, like we just met. You know, like this is too much.
And if you're like almost too self-aware sometimes, I think sometimes like especially if you're doing a lot of work, you know your flaws, you know like your personality, you know your strengths and stuff, like keep like let your actions show those things versus you telling them like I'm doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like that, it's like actions speak louder than words, I think.
That's
but
an
girls want to
interesting
peel
point,
you back
Britt.
like an onion. Like they want to slowly Yeah, exactly.
Britt, of like the people pleasing thing, that's very interesting. This to me is like, this was me and Cameron's relationship at the start. Like I just did not view him in a way of like, oh, he could be my boyfriend, like, because he was such a good friend and would do things like that, like, oh, what can I get you to drink, but like, how can I be there for you? And I always knew, like, in the back of my head, almost like he'll always be there, like, which is so bad. That's like really fucked up. But like, if I knew at whatever point I was ready to start things or want to do things, that he would be there and that he would still like me and want me and stuff. And like, I think he has a lot of those like feminine qualities that are really just being nice and like treating a girl with respect and like not being a douche.
It's like when you want to buy something but it's kind of expensive and you just keep putting it off or whatever. But then once you see like it's almost out of stock, there's only one left, then you're like, oh, I need to buy it now. Like it needs to be that like, oh, does he not want me anymore kind of thing, you know? I don't know.
And that did kind of make me want Cameron more when like I would see like if at a party or something, if a girl was like really flirting with him, or like I made my friend kiss him, I was like, go kiss him, because like I wanted to, I don't know, like I didn't want to like him and I kind of did like him, and I was like, I need you to go do it. But then once I saw like other girls could like him or he could like another girl, I was like, oh shit, like no, please stop. Like I want you to be mine.
There's also this psychological thing where when someone likes something or someone, it makes you like them too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also think on the note of like making better chemistry, I feel like if you're overthinking, like especially now that the girls might have pointed out like that they don't have chemistry with you, you might be like overthinking it a lot. So if you do go on dates, do it with maybe like do an activity or something, like not super like, you don't have to do anything crazy, but I think doing an activity where like you're thinking about something else so that you're not so focused on like the chemistry aspect of it.
Yeah, because honestly, did he say it's like reading books on chemistry and stuff? Because I feel like
because then you're gonna be like so in your own head about it. So I think like doing an activity, like even like if I don't know where he said he was,
California.
I was literally just picturing Austin because of like all the dog friendly things.
Why do I feel like the Bay Area?
I don't know. Anyways, but like doing an activity I think is helpful. And then also you said like you don't care if girls ask you out. I'm wondering if like you don't ask girls out that much because you're
sounds like he does, because he's like,
it seems like he's
really
trying,
yeah.
I think it literally is just a shitty thing of like, you're probably a good person and an actual, you would be a great boyfriend and husband, and therefore people aren't paying attention to you.
You gotta be a little hard to get, or like make them jealous somehow. You gotta like
fake a scenario where you're
I do think it's really hard though to give advice to somebody who's like very much themselves to like try and play those games if it's not like natural to them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like,
so I think
you shouldn't really at the end of the day.
I think it's just like not putting it all out on the table, like when you first meet them. And that's like that's like advice I've given to one of my friends recently. I was like, I don't think you need to play a game. I just don't think you need to like put everything on the table like in the first like 3 dates that you've like met somebody, because I think getting too like hot and heavy too quickly, like not even just sexually but just like emotionally,
it's a turnoff.
Well, like it's easy for it to like die really quickly. Like it's, you know, peak and then kaput. Like, so I think having that slow build gives a lot of excitement to everything. But keep us posted.
Those are the inner workings of a woman's mind.
Yeah, keep us posted. It's hard because there's no like direct advice to give somebody to like, this is exactly the steps you take to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't think reading a book on that would actually be that helpful either.
Yeah, especially chemistry, I feel like is such a literally just natural thing of based on the person.
Yeah.
Okay, we should probably be done.
We'll get more next time.
Yes, we already scheduled our next Q&A episode, guys. We're trying to do them like every month, every other month-ish. So keep submitting them. You can find our link in our bio to our Google form, and you can submit your advice or any updates that you have on advice we've already given you anytime you'd like. But we're going to keep chatting, going more in depth in the Clinton Kane drama, other things that we're going to talk about in our Patreon episodes. So make sure you go subscribe to that. It's an extra episode every single week. And then monthly we post a bonus Q&A if you like our Q&As, where we answer member advice only and we answer every single question. So yeah, you can find that on patreon.com/sogladwerefriends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.